asking for money is a very sensitive subject. Quite familiar with the property space. And they've got no more money to offer, but you've got more projects. I would say 80 to 90% of it has been from people who have had no property knowledge. Hey everyone, welcome back. And today I'm going to show you how to attract investor money so you can scale your portfolio. Even if you have a war chest of money, you will still need investors to scale your portfolio. So first, let's understand the motivation of an investor. Any investor wants a safe bet with a high interest return. If you can offer an investor those two things, then it does not matter how much experience you've got, they will invest in you. So you need to make sure that your property deals are aligned with the motivation of the investor. If you are out of alignment, if the deal's too risky, if you're not showcasing that you can't reduce the risk, if you're not providing a good enough return for the investment, then you're never going to attract investor money. And let me tell you, scaling my portfolio to 8 million in the last 4 years has come from leaning on investors. Giving them an opportunity to maximize their capital that is sat in the bank and doing nothing, but in a safe way. I created a safe bet for them. And by doing so, they want to continue to work with me over and over again. I quite often have investors where I go to pay them back and they're just like, what's next? What's next? And that's exactly where I want to get you to. But there are some fundamentals to be able to achieve that, which you need to understand. So the first thing is you need to build credibility. And this is where things like documenting your journey, showcasing what you're doing, showcasing that you've completed projects, showcasing that you're working with a mentor who knows what they're talking about. These are all ways that you can showcase your track record and give you an online presence. Your personal branding is what will clinch the deal. There are so many investors out there looking for funds. Why does one investor choose to use you versus someone else? Your personal brand. They need to not only have a safe bet and know their money is protected and that they're definitely going to get a good return, but they also need to resonate with you. They need to buy into your story. They need to want to support your success. They need to see that it's a win-win scenario. And you do that by building out a powerful personal brand online. In today's world of social media, if you are not on social media, if you are not documenting your journey, you are going to struggle to find investor money. And even if you're going to networking events in person, which are fantastic by the way, and a good use of time to build connections, as long as you're going to the right networking events, then you still need your social presence online. I guarantee if you meet someone, if you give them your business card, if you discuss, if you swap numbers, the next thing they're going to do is go find you. Check your Instagram out, check your Facebook out. See if you are who you say you are. See if you have delivered what you say you are delivering. So the social media presence ties it all back together and makes you investable. Your credibility is your calling card. The more credible and the more trustworthy you can present yourself, the more investment you will attract. So when you are past the first hurdle of actually just having a conversation about potential investments, what you then need to do is clearly demonstrate the financials of your project. You need to be able to showcase that they can invest in you, that it's simple, they know exactly what they're getting into, they know exactly how much money is going to be required, they know exactly what the potential leeway is for overspend and possible devaluation. You've given them various exit plan scenarios based on good, bad and ugly, because let's be honest, in property investing things can go wrong. You're highlighting upfront what the potential risks are and you're having a discussion. It's like anything. And this is why I think prenups are great, having just gone through a divorce, okay, without a prenup. You know what you're getting into at the beginning. So when it goes messy, you know what you're getting out of it. And it stops the arguments, it stops the backwards and forwards, it stops the costly solicitors, okay? So it's really important. Investors are no different. It's money being laid on the table. It's all well and good at the beginning when we're talking this return, that return, how quick, how fast, blah, blah, blah. But when it goes wrong is when you need to make sure you're both clear on how you then get out of the situation. And having clear communication upfront and also throughout the project, then it builds the trust further. It will secure you more investment. Most investors will test the water. They might 50 grand, 100 grand, a couple of 100 grand. But the chances are they've got more behind the scenes. If you can run one successful project, that investor will more than likely invest more the next time. You do not need loads of investors to grow your portfolio into the multi-millions. You need a handful at best, and you continue to work with them and increase the trust after each and every project. I personally like to pay my investors monthly. Some pay at the end of the project in a lump sum, but I like to be putting money into their bank account, giving them an extra income. And by doing that, they get reliant on the income. They like the extra cash flow. So when the project's finished, they want to go again because they don't want the income to stop. So how do you find these investors? There's many ways. But once you've got everything sorted, once you've got your social presence there, once you know exactly what your deal is and that it's attractive and that it's safe, how do you actually find the investor? Well, social media, there are plenty of people out there. If you're promoting yourself, if you're promoting your brand and you're doing it in the right way, you've got the right content, then you will naturally attract investors when you pitch for funds. That is one way to do it. Networking and going to events are another great way. However, one thing that I see with property is people go to property events wanting to find investment. And yes, investors do go to property events, but you would be better off going to high net worth events. Events where people with cash are hanging out. You really want somebody who does not know much about property. You want somebody who is cash rich and property intelligent poor. Because if they know how to do it, they'll do it themselves with their own money. So bringing them in the loop and showing them this is the safe way, this is how we do it, this is the return that you can expect, they're sat there with a load of money in the bank and they go, that sounds like a great idea to me. Versus saying, well, I know how to do that, so I'm just going to use my money and I'm going to cut you out of the picture. And this is one of the fundamental mistakes that I see a lot of property entrepreneurs make, is they go after somebody who's already quite familiar with the property space. The majority of my funding, I would say 80 to 90% of it, has been from people who have had no property knowledge. And the last place is referrals. Once you've done a good job for one, once you've done a good job for two, and they've got no more money to offer, but you've got more projects, it's a safe way to say, listen, do you know anybody else that would be interested in this? Now, if you've picked your investor up from a high net worth networking event, then they are going to more than likely have friends who've also got money. So then you do a great job for them, and then you say, well, I know you're maximized right now with your funds and you're waiting for them to come back and blah, 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 but do you know anyone else? I've still got some projects that I need to get off the ground. And as long as you've done a great job for them, they will 100% to their friends and their network. In terms of the pitch for the investors, you got to know your audience. You got to know who they are. You've got to get on with them. You have to time the pitch correctly. Asking for money is a very sensitive subject. If you do not do it correctly, you will blow the investor before you've even had the chance. You do things in a logical way. You build your trust. You showcase the figures. You show them it's a safe bet. You're concise with what you do, and in an ideal world, you can demonstrate that you've done it before. You focus on the benefits of them investing, then you go for the pitch. You will get the funds more often than not. But if you jump the gun too soon at any of those stages, then there is a chance that you will scare your investor off and they will go somewhere else. So in summary, attracting investors is quite simple, but it has to be done in the right way. It all starts with building trust. It all starts with showing them that they can invest safely. And then it's a relationship game. Build that relationship over time through successful projects, by doing what you said you were going to do, by delivering the money back to them in the timely fashion that you said, and then it will grow. Your referrals will grow, you will attract more investment from both the people that are currently investing and new investors, and that is how you will scale your portfolio to multi-millions without having to use a single penny of your own. If you want to learn more about my ContractorBnB method, which will secure you 4 purchased assets, which will bank 100k per year in income and more than 250k in equity in 12 months, DM me the word BNB on Instagram or Facebook and I'll show you exactly how I do that for my clients. Peace out.